think he would have revised them. There's no reason to suppose that a poet should want the poems that he's writing now to resemble the poems that he wrote 50 years ago or 20 years ago. Poets, surely Wordsworth is an example, for example, or T.S. Eliot, they don't go back and revise poems because they've learned new techniques of poetry. They allow their earlier selves to be represented by the poems they wrote when they were younger. I see no reason why Shakespeare should be expected to have gone over the poems again and thought, no, I want to write that in a different way because this is how I'd write it now that I'm 40, differently from when I was 30. No.
So as I say, polishing a poem is very different from rewriting it. And I think poets do polish poems. And so therefore we can say with certainty that Shakespeare was no doubt, revising any number of these sonnets up until their publication in 1609. We can't not say that because we have to assume that that's true. But the poems and the way they can be dated and have been dated by MacDonald Jackson is achieved because within there are particular concentrations of rare words that only occur at certain points in Shakespeare's career within these segments that Jackson has identified as chronological across the 1609 collection, and that's what we've followed in order to arrange them as we have. But absolutely, I mean, why would you rewrite entirely or bring up to date an earlier poem? You'd end up with two poems, and you think, well, this is the one. In fact, there are early versions of two of the sonnets, 144 and 138, and we print both versions in our book. They were both published first in an earlier version in 1599 in the Passionate Pilgrim, and then in the 1609 volume. And there, actually, they do illustrate Shakespeare's own, we suppose, revising hand.
Unless one of them is a corruption of the other.
Or it could be a corruption.
We can't be absolutely sure there.